When you consider their incredible fuel economy, their legendary reliability, and their unmatched value, it's easy to see why San Diego has fallen in like with the new Hondas.
Hi, I'm Mike Peterson. If you like friendly service, you'll like Tipton Honda, a dealer for the people. We're off Interstate 8 in El Cajon.
This episode was made possible by Qualcomm. Qualcomm celebrates Southern California's most innovative thinkers. To learn more about the entrepreneurial ideas and bold imaginations that drive the future of digital communications, visit Qualcomm.com.
When you think of beautiful snow-capped mountains, for most people, sunny Huntington Beach, California isn't what comes to mind. Yet for a handful of passionate snowboarders, this is where the magic begins. From start to finish, Signal builds their own snowboards, and in doing so has created a company that's on the forefront of design.
Signal started in 2004, and I basically just came off of working for kind of a bigger corporate company, and I was really interested in doing something a little bit smaller and a little more down to earth, try to sort of spread like a more of a community idea around snowboarding instead of just big business.
A friend of mine and myself, we started building some snowboards in the garage, and my brother engineered a press for us, and about 95 we actually opened up a manufacturing business where we manufactured snowboards.
Before Signal, I was a pro rider like from 92, 93 to 2000. And then I ran a snowboard company for Quicksilver for a little while, and then about 2004, I started Signal.
Dave had Signal, and Signal was a brand that had just the brand, didn't have a factory. And being a brand without a factory is difficult as well, because you have to rely on factories. You don't know if you're going to be priority for that factory or if you're going to get your stuff done at all. And Dave and I decided to put the two brands together as one, you know, my factory, Dave's brand, Signal, pull it all together, just call it Signal, and produce Signal boards.
The goal for us around Signal was basically just to continue to snowboard and sort of have that lifestyle, but also be on the forefront of design for these decks or this brand that we wanted to create. Like, after being a pro rider and riding for so many different companies, I found it really exciting to be on the other side and actually create a brand for people, you know, with our goals and, you know, intentions.
Building your own product is not easy, and it's a challenge. And to be one of those brands that's manufacturing their own product, they really stand out above the rest.
The difficulties are just growth. Like, growth is difficult. Like, it's really fun to begin a project and have that sort of romantic view of like, oh, we're doing a great new business, you know, it's fun, like everybody's excited. Nobody really knows what their roles are, but they're all charging ahead and bringing ideas, fresh ideas to the company. And then as years go on, like, things get more organized and more focused, and there's more direction, and then managing people, managing the business, those things become difficult and they become very real. And that's when the shift, I feel like there's a big shift there for successful companies and companies that end up going away. They can either handle that shift or they can't, and that's been a big learning curve for us. When the economy kind of crashed in 2007, I think the factory is what saved us. We were able to use it as a lever to, you know, like, kind of, I always use the analogy, it was like a gas pedal. Like, when things needed to slow down, we just lift it up, and if we needed to speed up, we could. And that was basically, you know, production. Like, we didn't have to put big deposits forward to other factories to start building our boards. We could build them in small increments and pay for them ourselves. And that really helped us sort of weather that storm.
With their own dedicated factory, Signal now had the ability to produce whatever was necessary to keep the business strong, All they needed now was a means to separate themselves from the competition.
You wake up every day with the ability to take it above and beyond. Like every day you can do something new, or you can add something that benefits the brand or pushes a board or an idea further. And you know, when you're working for someone else, like sometimes you can bring those ideas to the table, but you can't get them executed. So running your own business, you get to execute those every day.
Dave basically came up to me and he's like, we should start building a board out of something random just for fun, because we can. He's like, I was thinking about building a board out of records. And I'm like, well, let's do it. You know, why not? Let's try it and let's film it and make a show out of it.
Every Third Thursday is a concept here where we basically come up with a theme or an idea for a board, and we build it in a day with our guys in the factory, and then we go test it.
Thought about it more, we discussed the idea, and we're like, well, let's actually shoot it like we would a pilot and see how it comes out. And so we did that. We didn't know like if it was gonna work. Like I remember flexing records and going, gosh, is this really gonna flex? Is it gonna shape the nose of the board, or is it gonna crack and splinter, or is it gonna even bond? Is it gonna pop right off? You know, I had no idea. So we're like, it's fun. It's gonna be cool to do. And so we threw records on vinyl on top of the board and pressed it, and it came out, and it was like, oh my God, they stuck. It worked. And at that point is when we realized that this could be really fun to do on a bigger level and just keep pushing new ideas.
Well, this thing seriously was probably one of the most fun boards I've ever ridden. It held up really well, and like the records just being flexible already probably helped with just not breaking at all.
Obviously the record sleeves here, maybe not a good idea. The paper doesn't quite hold up.
You never see a board like that, you know?
Board's intact, top sheet's not, but it still looks good.
Yep.
Right on, from Timberline.
Out.
Yes, the next Every Third Thursday is simply called The Sled, and I will leave it at that.
So Every Third Thursday has been really impactful for the brand as far as reaching out to a whole different audience. We do really well with, you know, street guys or different types of riders, but now it's like these people that are really interested in like building things and working with their hands. They're looking at the show going, wow, it's cool, they actually build their boards there. You can preach to them all day long that, you know, we make our own snowboards here. We're not calling China, we're not calling Europe and saying, hey, when are our board's gonna be done, and sending them graphics and things like that. We're actually building everything with our own hands. So like the shows push that out to people and lets them know that we really do build stuff with our hands, and most companies don't do that.
Every Third Thursday.
So this is really straightforward. It's basically similar to maybe a familiar board game. For every trick landed in correspondence with the dice, you advance one playing piece forward.
360 lip slide. First trick.
We're doing a aluminum can top sheet and a water bottle base. I don't know, I think it's gonna be fun. It's definitely lightweight. The glass weaves we used in it aren't really glass weaves. They're more of like a hemp blend. So I don't know how long it will last, but I'm sure it will be fun for a couple runs. It's definitely got a good flex. It could just break in half, actually, after it's just... That didn't sound so good. It looks like we can record whatever we're listening to. There's gonna be a handle, and you're gonna be able to carry that thing around, and then there'll be speakers here and here, and you'll be able to shred and listen to your favorite tunes.
This is one of the first times I've been speechless on the Every Third Thursday. I'm just like, it works.
Owning your own business puts the power of creativity at your fingertips. By pushing the boundaries of snowboard manufacturing with endless creativity, Signal Snowboards has separated itself from the rest of the competition.
Team's a really important aspect of our brand. Who's representing our brand out there and making sure that, you know, they're doing contests or they're in video parts or providing web content. And back in the day, team was always, you had a team manager, and the team manager would be like basically the team manager, and he'd also be a photographer, and he'd kind of like manage team, go out on trips, and then he'd also shoot like all the, you know, photos. But now it's kind of changed with social media involved. we feel that social media is such a big, important factor of our brand that having a team manager who is also in charge of your social media, put those two together, and there you have your team manager because he can run the web and everything. So then we brought in a guy named Joey Yorba, and Joey is now our team manager as well as he runs all our web and social media.
The Signal Snowboard team, as far as business is concerned, is kind of how we relate to the kids. A big chunk of our marketing is getting the kids to know who's on our team. Because when they see them out on the hill or they see them in magazines or videos, those are the riders that the kids want to emulate. So if you see a rider riding a Signal snowboard in an ad as a little kid, that's going to make you want to go out and get that board if you like that particular rider. What we look for when we're bringing someone onto the team is how they would fit with our team. We have a big kind of like understanding that we don't want to bring anyone onto the team that wouldn't fit, that wouldn't be fun to hang out with, that wouldn't be part of the family. Family's a big part of like everyone here in the factory. So we don't want to bring anyone in that we don't think is going to be a part of the family.
Yeah, you think it's going to be fairly easy to create a brand in snowboarding when you come from it and don't really think about the logistical backgrounds of business. I mean, a lot of us that have come through a pro career didn't go to college for business, so you're kind of an entrepreneur with street smarts, but not so much the business side. So that's been the biggest challenge for me, is just learning that through friends of mine that have business degrees or that are mentors of mine, but the business side of that was very tough. To me, today, it's already a success. You know, like, we love coming to work every day, we love what we do. So in that regard, it is successful in our eyes. But, you know, keep it funded and keep the business strong is what you need to keep it alive. So keeping it funded, you know, make sure we do right by the business.
Informed of what we're doing here, communicating with people, building more of every third Thursday, building more of our team, communicating with people, and continue to have fun.
We're a slow and steady kind of brand, so we will take things as they come, but we definitely have big plans for the future.
Coming up, James Brennan keeps the late-night festivities enchanting with Stingaree and Searsucker. James Brennan is a specialist in the nightlife and hospitality industry. Backed by his experiences of developing multiple ventures, his greatest creation to date is Stingaree, a 3-story nightclub full of energy, excitement, and fun. James has raised the bar for what people expect when they want to enjoy a night out on the town.
My professional background consists of a lot of different things. I consider myself kind of a serial entrepreneur. Marketing, I think, is probably what I'm best at. I graduated from University of San Diego in '96 and pretty much got right into the real estate world and stayed in that world for quite some time until I dabbled into the hospitality nightlife industry when I opened Sidebar about 9 years ago. We created Stingaree and well, it started in about 2004. It took us about a year to kind of concept and build and everything else. We built it from scratch, and we were approached by the people who own the building down here in the gas lamp, and I just thought it was the right opportunity to create kind of a mega nightclub here in San Diego that would be on par with Las Vegas and New York, and kind of create something different for the gas lamp here. We were accepted with wide open arms from the city. I mean, it was extremely tough to get in here over the course of the first year. We way exceeded our gross revenue numbers on what we were anticipating, and you know, we're still even 6 years later, you know, doing north of $10 million in sales. So we've been able to hold on to create something that the public has kind of you know, perceived as you know, kind of, it's something that they feel an affection for. Stingaree is kind of the nightclub that kind of set San Diego off on to you know, what it's become today.
I think people enjoy most about Stingaree is that, you know, when you come here, you're going to get treated right. The service is always on point. Everybody's happy. you really get what you pay for here. And we're constantly bringing new entertainment to San Diego that some people have never even seen before. We've had all different types of DJs performances here. We've had everybody from Beyonce to Paris Hilton to Kanye West, Jamie Foxx, you name it, we've had them here.
We spent about $7 million. We raised it in private equity. I put a lot of my own money into it as well, and you know, we were able to pay our investors back in roughly about a year and a half from the time that we opened. Before we hammered one nail, I knew it would be a successful, you know, venue. I was confident in that. You don't go into something and gamble $7 million without having full and total confidence.
Some of the things I think to keep Stingaree's success is constantly changing. You know, changing with the trends, changing with the music, constantly reinventing ourselves on a day-to-day basis, on a nightly basis, and keeping up with our standards of service.
We make adjustments, you know, day in, day out. You know, we've remodeled the rooftop here that we're sitting on right now. Last year, we did a complete facelift and relook. We just recently redid the restaurant into kind of an ultra lounge called Guest House, which we totally re-renovated and put in some new technology. You know, we're on the cutting edge of entertainment. You know, we're constantly doing different promotions, and you know, it's a week in, week out kind of fight to kind of stay, you know, competitive within the nature of this business. The necessary steps that, you know, to open a venue like this are, you know, obviously making sure you're in the right space, in the right location, you know, and then from there, you know, really being able to kind of get your concept down and know who you are and what you're looking to put out to the public. And then from there, you know, the third component is really making sure you have the right staff with the right, you know, mindset of what we're looking to accomplish from a standpoint of the level of service that we're looking to provide.
We currently have about 120 employees here. We have an amazing management team, everybody from our general manager to our nightclub managers, to our executive chef, to the hosts that work here, all the way down to our bartenders, cocktail waitresses, barbacks. You know, our employees at Stingaree are really what make this place what it is today.
You know, I think the nightlife scene is going to go through some transitions. I think it's still learning how to kind of grasp technologies, both from a social media component as well as, you know, an audio-visual component. I think there's a lot going on with holographic imaging, things that we haven't even seen yet in sound and lighting that I think are going to transform the way the general population views what they're expecting when they go out to a nightclub.
Social networking has really helped the club out. It's amazing because we were able to get our marketing out to you know, a whole sea of people. We're able to put all of our flyer materials, describe what our events are, you know, add friends to, you know, people who come to Stingaree and who like Stingaree.
We're very big in social media. We have a huge email database that we market directly to our customers. You know, we don't do much print advertising. A lot of it is word of mouth, and we really do a lot with our publicists, and you know, we get a lot of PR, you know, from around the country. So we leverage that as well. You know, we've held our own. I think there's been a lot of attrition in the marketplace. I think there's been a lot of places that just haven't made it. And, you know, as far as this economy and how we've survived, you know, we've built a name for ourselves. When people come from out of town, they know Stingaree, they're coming to Stingaree. People are guaranteed a good time when they come here, and they're not going to take chances on a what if. And I think there's been a lot of places that haven't been as fortunate, and we've maintained our level of service, which is the most important thing to us, and I think that's really set us aside.
One of James Brennan's latest ventures is the brainchild of his and celebrity chef Brian Malarkey. They have formed Searsucker, a restaurant that has become highly raved about by locals and tourists from all over the world.
I met James Brennan when he was opening Stingaree, how many years ago that was. I was the chef at Ocean Air, a few blocks away from Stingaree, a few blocks away from where we are right now at Searsucker. I was a chef there, and James loved the food, and I wanted to get on the VIP list of Stingaree, and I got to know him, and I was taking care of him, cooking him some great food, got to know his friends, his family, good Irish boy. I'm Brian Malarkey, get a little bit of Irish in that one also. And after just getting to know each other, hanging out, spend some time together, we're like, we should really do a project together. And there's a couple different projects we kind of investigated and looked at, and they just didn't quite pan out and work out. After Top Chef, things really went crazy for me. Oceanair went really off the hook, this one did. But a lot of the other Oceanairs actually were doing horrible. They bankrupted the company. I jumped off the boat. I walked into James Brennan's office. He'd had great success with Stingaree, not so much with Universal and the Witherby. And so I walked into his office one day and I said, "You ready to get back on the pony?" I said, "Let's do a restaurant. Now's the time." A few days later, we actually, this is just ironic, we found this location, a little tiny place on 5th and Market, before it even went up, for bid. James did what he does best. He got the lease, he signed it, he did it, he's got it all. He nails that stuff. That's what James is wonderful at, is the property, the management, getting the whole thing put together, the package. And he put this together so fast, it was mind-boggling.
It's been a real pleasure working with him. He's, a lot of chefs are artists, and sometimes let their art get in the way of let's call it profit or the bottom line. And while he holds that artistic, kind of profession intact, he also is very conscious of the bottom line. He's a workaholic like I am, so it's been a real good relationship.
Searsucker, cute little place here. Searsucker, we wanted to do something very approachable. Down here in the gas lamp, you have a lot of people from a lot of different walks of life. Nobody's from San Diego. There's a lot of tourists here. There's a lot of people that have moved here. You have a lot of guests. But you also have this new neighborhood that is downtown in the gas lamp. So I wanted to be something for them. And you can't be a very niche-y restaurant when you have a great location like this with a lot of seats in the middle of this market that's a big melting pot of sorts. So we did what we call the New American Classic, which New American Classic makes no sense at all. And naming a restaurant Searsucker with suck in the middle of a restaurant name makes no sense at all. But we like to do stuff to raise eyebrows and have fun. And most importantly, laugh at me and laugh at ourselves and have a good time. So it's an approachable restaurant with the fact that you can come in and you can have a crab cake, rotisserie chicken, mashed potatoes, or you can come in and you can eat bull's balls, octopus, beef cheek, tongue, butt. We got it all. So you start with baby steps, and then you can get a little bit more adventurous here at Searsucker.
Brian was really more so in charge of kind of defining what our menu and our food concept was going to be. The direction was really just, that we decided upon was fun, the open-faced kitchen, kind of making it as much as an experience as it is just coming to, eat dinner and kind of have your dessert, coffee, and leave. It was really more about an experience, almost a show. And then kind of I coupled that with what I brought over from the nightlife world, which is, high-end cocktails, lounge, music, and kind of really tied it all together to make it a true experience. I think the keys to success in any type of business venture in this industry, whether it's a nightclub or a restaurant, start with location. I think that used to be kind of the main point. Everybody's heard location, location, location. I think that kind of fell apart when things were really good in the economy and the world that we were living in, and now that things have been reset, I think getting back to basics is really important. So location is certainly one. Service is something that we pride ourselves on, always have. I think that our staff is a huge component to the success of any business, certainly ours. And last is the concept. I mean, you really need to know who you are and what you are, and you need to commit to it and make sure that within that concept you're the best. You're doing it the best that you can.
For updates and prizes, follow us on Twitter at WTB Show.
This episode was made possible by Qualcomm. Qualcomm celebrates Southern California's most innovative thinkers. To learn more about the entrepreneurial ideas and bold imaginations that drive the future of digital communications, visit Qualcomm.com.